Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. I brought you up to the red shed to see the orange hazy sun and all of the thick smoke that's descended on us. We've got some wildfires burning north of here. We aren't in any immediate danger. We're just getting the smoke, and it's thick enough you can almost not see Senior's Place in the trees over there. And it's like you can taste it. Lots of particulates in the air, and they haven't been advising people to be doing much outside. And I would agree on that today. It's really bad out here. So that's been putting a bit of a damper on the outdoor activities as of late. But we're back at Senior's Place now, and this will be a short episode talking about that Starlink satellite internet receiver panel that's at the top of that pole up there. Quite a few people in my comment section have been asking if I could do an episode talking about the installation, the hookup, and also share my thoughts on the system after I've operated it for a bit. I've had it running for a good 3 weeks now, so I'm satisfied that I know enough about it. Flies, sorry, it's that time of year. I'm satisfied that I know enough about it to have an informed opinion, so let's get into it. I would say I have higher than average internet requirements for the YouTube channel here. So I chose the residential max plan, not only for the unlimited data, but it offers the best overall speeds as well. And about a week later, this box shows up, and on top of everything is the instruction form. And it's a really simple install. Now, plenty of people have done Starlink install videos before, so I'm not going to stray too far off into the weeds here, but you have two choices. You can either schedule an installer to come and do this for you, or do it yourself. I chose to do it myself, and step number one is to open the camera on your smartphone, scan that QR code right there, and that allows you to download the Starlink app, which you will need for every step of this process. The first thing the app has you do is take your cell phone camera and scan the sky above your location. And it will show you any areas that you've missed. And what it's doing is it's looking for obstructions. Mainly, in my case, all of these treetops. Starlink does not like obstructions, and it wants to have a 110-degree unobstructed view of the horizon. In my area, there's no way I could get that without taking most of these trees out. But once you scan everything, it will give you kind of a rating that says, is your location ideal? Is it marginal? Or is it very poor? So my best signal location would be from the highest peak of the house right there. And even then, with my tree obstructions on both sides, it said I could potentially expect to lose satellite signal for up to 3 minutes an hour, every hour, all day long. But it was really my only choice, so I decided to roll ahead with that. And we had this long pole that the old TV satellite aerial antenna used to attach to. It anchors into the ground down there, and then it attaches to the roof peak of the house with a bracket and a U-bolt. Now, the Starlink receiver panel comes with this kickstand mount on the back of it, and this is to hold it at the desired 20-degree angle for best reception. I knew I wasn't going to be able to use this kickstand because this was for placing it like on the deck or out in the lawn, and I had to put mine up at the top of that pole. But fortunately, there are a lot of different Starlink pole mounts available. I went on Amazon and bought this one. It's kind of on a ball socket so that it not only adjusts the angle, but the tilt as well. And these kickstands are easy to pop off the back. They just snap in with these two tabs here and here. So to remove it, you put your thumb underneath that little area right there and then pull up until you get those two detached, and then it just slides right out, and then that pipe mount slides into the same spot and is secured with some set screws. So I disconnected the pole from the bracket up at the roof peak, and then I cut it clean off right here and put this whole upper section flat down onto the ground. I then welded this larger sleeve to it. This sleeve is made to surround the lower portion that's still anchored into the ground, and I also put these two cinch bolts on the sleeve so that we could set it on, and then lock it in position. While the pole was down, I also put the pipe mount on the panel, and I preset the panel to the desired 20-degree angle in relation to the pole. So that's one less adjustment that we'd have to crawl back up there and do. And also, while it was on the ground, I knew that because I was going to be so high, that the included 50-foot cable that came with the kit was not going to be long enough. But fortunately, there are plenty of options for longer cables out there as well. I went on Amazon and purchased this 100-foot long cable instead. So with everything pre-assembled to the top of the pole and the cable hooked up, we used the loader of the tractor to lift the entire assembly back up to the peak of the roof, and we carefully set it down onto the lower portion that was still in the ground. We routed the cable down the house, through the wall to the inside, and then hooked the cable onto the wireless router, and then plugged the wireless router into the outlet in the wall. The Starlink system will boot itself up automatically. There are no switches that you need to flip, and it will want to take about the first hour to just scan the horizon, determine exactly where the obstructions are, and also assess how the panel is aimed. After that, it will instruct you to perform the final aiming process. So you go back into the app on the phone, and you'll see a screen where there is a rectangular outline and a solid rectangular shaped box. And what you do is pivot the receiver panel around until the solid rectangle is perfectly aligned within that rectangular box. And then that's all I had to do here. The angle was already preset at the top, so just from the ground, I stood here and I twisted this upper pipe on the lower one until everything lined up, locked it all in place, and that finished the install. That was all I had to do. So it's been about 3 weeks that I've had the system operational, and so far I have no complaints about it whatsoever, and it's blazing fast compared to the old internet connection that we had. So so far I've noticed no dropouts in signal. It said due to our obstructions we could lose satellite signal for up to 3 minutes an hour every hour. So far I have not had one interruption yet. And actually, like the first week or so that it was hooked up, the speeds actually got progressively a little bit faster as it just kind of learns the neighborhood, I think, so to speak. The upload rates, now I can do a speed test on it. Here's the results of the speed test that I just ran, upload, download, and all that stuff. All I know is on my uploads, it's in excess of 30 times faster than our old connection. So on our old connection, it would take me 1 hour of upload time to get 2 minutes of video. So if it was a 30-minute long video, that was 15 hours it took to fully upload. And now it's about 40 seconds to upload 1 minute of video. The most recent behind the scenes episode I did over on the members channel was 1 hour and 16 minutes long. That fully uploaded, processed up to HD, and did all the copyright checks in 56 minutes. So 56 minutes would have been about how long it took me to get 2 minutes of video uploaded before on the old one. So for me, it's completely transformed my whole YouTube routine. Now, I've also had people asking me, how does the weather interfere with the satellite signal? We've had just a couple of rainstorms blow over in the 3 weeks that I've been running it, and like the heavy smoke in the atmosphere today, so far nothing has interrupted the satellite signal at all. It's been 100% reliable. And I've also received quite a few questions about snow buildup. How will that affect the receiver panel this coming winter? And there are different snow melting modes in the Starlink app that you can select. So I have mine just set to automatic snow melt mode right now, and that will sense if any buildup is accumulating on the panel, and there's a built-in heating grid that will melt, I believe it's up to 1.5 inches of snow per hour on the automatic mode. But if you need even more than that, you can go back into the app, and I think it's called a preheat mode. It's the most aggressive snow melting mode there is, and it will pretty much keep anything from accumulating up there. It will use more electrical power, but really with Starlink, weather does not seem to be a factor. And I think you guys have been able to hear Senior working away in the background. We'll get his opinion on the internet. So your thoughts? I told him I'm pretty happy with it. I know on our old connection, it got bad enough that the two of us could not each watch a different YouTube video at the same time. Everything would just stop.
Well, I know it's light years above what we have.
Yeah. We can pretty much watch whatever we want. You can even dial up TV if you want. I can watch. So far, I think it's all good, right?
Yep, so far.
So.
And that's the only option we have in this area.
Yeah.
Our present provider right now is pretty much going to stop copper landline, everything else.
Yeah, it's not just internet, it's telephone.
It's high-speed fiber optic, which we do not have a line running across.
Yeah, they said we're available, and we're not available,
we're
right?
Not available. Our next possible provider does have high-speed internet in town, but they quit running line a quarter mile from us.
Yep, just right over there.
Yep,
we
right
can see it.
We can see the towers to that tower. And they have no plans that I know in the future to run another line. So right now, we're probably going to go cell phone and Starlink. That's going to be our
And that's really about it. So what do you got going here today? Because, well, just a quick little backstory. You, about a week ago, had back surgery, correct?
A week ago Tuesday.
So let them know how all that's been going.
Well, that's been going good so far. Wasn't a real serious outpatient. So just had to go and widen up where the nerves go through. I was getting some pinched nerves. So.
So you got about another week of restricted duty. So he's just been just a comfortable little chair and just doing some little lathe projects lately.
New shaft for bandsaw I'm making right now. You can see where the bushings really wore in and stuff. So, you know, some projects I've had needed to do for a while, and probably actually quite a while.
And now you have the excuse and the time to do it, right?
Now I got the time to do it. So yeah, we're in the process of making a new shaft. Something to keep busy.
So that was the brief overview on the installation hookup and our experiences so far with the Starlink satellite internet. I'm happy with it, Senior's happy with it, and it's good to finally be not only connected to the rest of the world again, but have a connection where I can actually start churning out the type of content and the length of content that I want. With my old connection, I was pretty much stuck to about 40-45 minutes total length before the upload time just became impossible, and due to automatic inactivity logouts and whatnot, I just couldn't ram anything through that was bigger than that. I just didn't have the connection to do it, and now pretty much the sky is the limit. So I may even be able to try to branch into some live streaming and doing things like that. That was never an option before either. So so far completely happy with the Starlink, and the residential max plan that I chose did not come with any hardware upfront fees. You just ordered it, you paid the shipping to get it here, and it is right now $130 per month every month from the time of activation when you first booted the system on. So all in all, I guess I really can't complain. So all right, I hope you all enjoyed this episode. You know what the new internet is like, and hopefully it will just further improve things from here on out. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative. I hope to see you back for the next one.